Scootaloo's parents are horrible. The end.
Objection!
Alright, I will go into more depth. And I'm talking about this now because it does tie into Season 10, Episode 5 of the IDW comics. Ever since the beginning of the show, it's been debated whether or not Scootaloo has parents or not, the fandom painting numerous scenarios from her living in an orphanage to eccentric billionaires, or even going darker with her living in an alley or a cardboard box beneath Rainbow Dash's house. Hell, it wasn't until Season 4 that we discovered the Filly Pegasus does in fact live in a home, but other than that, we didn't know whom she lived with or where, which is where we are today. And right off the bat, I got a problem with Scoot's care, and we're not even talking about the parents yet. So with their parents going on these expeditions to strange and exotic locations, how is the little filly of a Pegasus cared for?
The cakes will stay with you tonight, then Rarity, and Rainbow Dash after that. Remember, we're just a few stops from Ponyville if you need us.
Yeah, that's right. Scootaloo's home has no constant adult parental guardian, except for at night when some pony from town stays with her. Now, don't get me wrong, she's proven herself to be pretty resourceful and has adventured into many dangerous situations in the past, proving her independence. And the citizens of Ponyville are for the most part a kind, caring, and trusting community. On the other hoof, she's a kid essentially living alone in a 2-story house. And no pony sees a problem with that? She's a kid. Oh, sweet Celestia. You know, the fandom often jokes about Scoot abuse or Scooted neglect, but it's really happening. It's happening right now. No parents and just some random adult checks on her at night. It doesn't matter if help is just down the street. The fact that she can't look to a constant parental guardian for help or comfort right there in her home without having to travel to another's house is just crazy. And finally, we get to the parents.
My parents are coming home to Ponyville today!
Wait, they don't live here?
Nope. Their jobs are way too important for them.
Apparently, childcare is also too important.
They travel to the farthest, most dangerous places in Equestria to study unknown plants and fierce creatures. And what they learn helps ponies, science, and medicine. I'd go with them, but it's too dangerous.
I see, that is quite the dilemma. It is far too dangerous to take your child with you to the most remote and dangerous locations of Equestria. Oh, but here's a thought. You have a child! You couldn't get jobs here in Ponyville, like an animal wrangler or a local botanist? Something that doesn't involve you being away from your kid months or years at a time? But no, it's all okay because it's their passion, and their work is helping better understand science and medicine for all pony kind. So the ends justify the means of them leaving the care of their daughter to random citizens of Ponyville. What a bunch of crock. Speaking of which...
Need a little excitement? Oh yeah! Step into it, Slim Jim!
Okay, so we can add reckless endangerment and child endangerment upon their child neglect crimes. Should I add the crime of transporting exotic animals? Are they also heroin smugglers, communists? I joke, but when I'm cutting hairs like that, you've got problems.
We never planned to be away for so long in the first place. We just kept discovering things that could help Equestria, and no pony else had the experience to finish our job.
Oh, excellent.
And I'm sure many ponies have benefited from your work, but you know who else would have benefited from your presence? Your daughter? Or did you just not plan for that? But here's the part that slays me.
But with all that's happened lately, Sombra's return, the destruction of the Tree of Harmony, we decided our family should be together.
Oh, I see. So the reason that they chose to be a full family unit now is not over the emotional trauma of them possibly dying in one of their missions, leaving their daughter without birth parents, or Scootaloo simply missing her parents, or vice versa, nor is it them wanting to settle down and be the providers they should be. Nope, it's the fact that an evil entity returned and a tree of great power being destroyed was their call to action about being a united family once more.
You're stupid minds. Stupid, stupid!
But hey, maybe I'm being too harsh. You know, living constantly in such dangerous conditions can make one reflect upon their life choices, whether good or bad, and have that one revelation that can change their life and the life of their family.
I can give you a tour of the school if you want. I mean, if you're staying for a while this time.
Oh, you'll be seeing plenty of us.
Really?
See, I was wrong. Snapshutter and Maine Goodall were not great parents, but they finally realized they can really improve themselves. It just goes to show that every pony deserves a second chance, now that they truly know what is best for Scootaloo.
Because we've taken a new job assignment that will let all of us live together.
This is the best day of my life.
We'll stay in town for the weekend, so you can pack your things.
Wait, what?
What?
We're all moving to Shire Lanka. That's where our new job is.
But
What?
It'll be a big change for every pony, but it'll be a good change. Give it time. You'll see.
And you're an idiot.
Okay, so, for those of you in the cheap seats, let me reiterate again what they just agreed upon. The parents have decided to be a full family once again by taking their daughter to Shire Lanka, a hazardous, remote location far from civilization, a place that contains dangerous creatures and most likely poisonous fauna, and who knows what other dangers are also present. And they believe it's in their family's best interest to the heart of such a perilous environment. But it's okay, because technically, they'll be together.
Technically, you're a goddamn idiot.
And on top of that, they are selling their house in Ponyville, permanently removing any type of living quarters in town, effectively erasing their existence. And even more on top of that, despite the little filly's pleas, both parents have pretty much ignored all of Scoot's obvious emotional distress through the whole situation. They haven't tried to console her, offer words of advice, or anything that could make the transition better for her, or, you know, actually talk to her. All they can concentrate on is selling the house and focusing on their job, which means despite the fact that they're all going to quote-unquote live together, they are still gonna be the same ignorant parents they've always been, being away from the home for long periods of time, with Scoot still having random ponies as guardians. It's just all gonna be in a different environment, a much more hostile environment. So really, they haven't changed at all. No, scratch that, things would get much, much worse. And you know what the hell of it is? Among the many things that should have happened, the very least they could do was to sit down with their daughter and have a serious, meaningful talk about their livelihoods and their future as a family. Understand and compromise for one another to lead to a relatively good solution that works best for all. But no, it takes an entire town expressing how important Scootaloo and the CMC are to finally realize what is best for their daughter.
Full Wonderbolt salute.
Oh, I'm not sure you know just how important Scootaloo and her friends are, little brother.
But you're about to find out.
The Cutie Mark Crusaders see the best in every pony, even when that pony can't see it in themselves.
Well, I'll be a three-tailed bandicoot. I had no idea how important Scoot's club was.
And then we have the absolute final nail in the coffin with this line.
You're just like us, Scoot. You have an important job that only you can do. You love it, and it helps all of Equestria.
Sometimes that means missing out on other things you love, like watching our daughter grow into a pony we're very proud of.
Which is a long way to say, Scoot, if you want to stay, we understand.
I don't... You just admitted, no, you expressed pride in the fact that you are perfectly fine with missing out on your own daughter's careers and major life events, but it's okay because your work is much more important, but you'll be there in spirit.
Oh, sweetie, I'm just sorry we didn't realize it sooner.
Our work is our life's purpose. We could never quit, so there's no way we can ask you to do the same.
Well, sorry Scoots, I guess there just wasn't enough room in your parents' lives' purpose for them to be proper parents to you. Ignoring those parents, let's talk about Scootaloo's aunts, Lofty and Holiday, who are the complete opposites of Snapshutter and Maine Goodall. Aunt Holiday is a soft-spoken, kind-hearted mare who gives Scootaloo and her friends the rightly deserved praise for all the good work they've done, helping the foals of Ponyville. She offers words of encouragement and has a sweet demeanor, and cares about her niece's nutrition.
I left you plenty of healthy food for the weekend.
And I left you cookies.
Lofty is definitely the more fun and free-spirited of the two, preferring to engage in activities she finds enjoyable, living her life to the fullest, and wanting to instill joy in others as well, with something as simple as cookies. She's also able to admit when having a problem with something major or minor, like creating her quilt, showing she's able to admit when something's wrong and ask for help. And just a side note, she's got quite the wit as well.
We could never quit, so there's no way we can ask you to do the same.
Maybe you should have thought of that before you sold the house.
While she can be a bit of a wisecracker, we do see her dial it back when necessary and provide emotional support to any pony who needs it. They may be opposites, but they provide a harmonious relationship that makes them such great caregivers for Scootaloo, which is more than I could say about the birth parents. Neglectful, knowingly endangering the lives of their daughter and others, caring more about their profession. Clearly the aunts should be the rightful guardians of the Orange Pegasus. But hey, hold on, we're not done yet. There's more. Now let's dive into the comics with Season 10, Episode 5, where we see the return of Scootaloo's parents and aunts. Will we finally see Snapshutter and Maine Goodall in a new light, become the more responsible caregivers they should have been from the very beginning? Well, I guess that was just too much to hope for now, was it? And I can't tell you how appropriate the cover is with that forced smile being held up by her parents. That pretty much says it all. But let's take a more in-depth look, shall we? Once again, we have problems right off the bat. Scootaloo's parents once again don't take any interest in what their daughter wants to do, and reinforces once again in how much they care more about their own passions and work than Scoots. Doing something they love and Scootaloo obviously isn't enjoying. If you're trying to make me like these two or redeem them, you're doing a terrible job. They don't even stay with Scootaloo and Lofty and Holiday in their latest visit and choose to opt for a hotel room in town. It's like they don't even want to be with her. They don't even walk her home, they just leave her to trot sadly home through Ponyville. Even when they do decide to do something the Philly Pegasus wants, we find out that they are still terrible at reading their daughter's obvious emotional distress despite her not enjoying any of the activities from the previous day and her sad trip home. The kid has to spell it out for the adult. But of course, now after Scootaloo's reveal, they once again see the error of their ways and start doing things their daughter wants to do. Wow, took you long enough. So this would count as, what, the second time ever the parents ever compromised for Scootaloo? The first time being forced to move to Shire Lanka? I don't know. I don't care. In the end, both have gone through the same lesson of not listening to their own daughter all over again. So you know how much Snapshutter and Maine Goodall have grown? How much they've actually learned?
Nothing.
But once again, who is there to pick up the parental slack? Lofty and Holiday, of course. They reinforce how amazing Scootaloo is and encourage her despite the belief that she's not as interesting as her parents. The young filly has always been about pushing her limits with barriers constantly blocking her, with the most damning of all revelations being that she can't fly. She does pick herself up, but that emotional distress does still exist, and does acknowledge it, realizing she can't always put on a brave face and needs consoling, which is where her aunts come in. Both comfort her with love and food, and they actively listen to Scootaloo's troubles, telling her that they will always be there for her when she needs it. These two are just so great, and it's just such a heartwarming, beautiful moment that it almost makes me forget about who's it's and what's her name. And wow, I just realized how far this video's gone. Okay, before I delve into anything else, bottom line, Lofty and Holiday, you are the true and rightful parental figures. The ones providing constant nurturing, love, and hospitality to Scootaloo. Maine and Snap are just lucky they're not in jail with their list of misconducts. Hell, even the show and the comic acknowledges that the aunts are her full-time parents and guardians. Yeah, just comes right out and says it. Which I guess means everything I have said has been a moot point, and there really was no point for this video to exist, and this was all just a waste of time. Wait!